gentlemen, we are into picks and bans in this game between actually CBA and Fuzzy Esports. Fuzzy Esports going to be on the blue side with actually CBA over on the red side. I had a little problem with connection as we came into this one, so if you missed out on the greeting, hello, I'm Viperoon, I'm with the Sarge, and we're watching this SQ1 Champions League game, week 3, day 2. And it's the first time we've seen Fuzzy Esports on the Rift. Rengar, Vlad, and Echo being banned away. Sarge, you there?
I am indeed, and some of the bans we're seeing targeted already are towards OG Paulson on the side of actually CBA. He is a current master player, so clearly the biggest threat that Fuzzy Esports is feeling, with the Rise, the Echo, and the Vladimir all targeted at him, while a couple more standard picks, the Sivir is taken away for the bot lane, and Rengar removed from the juggle, both of actually CBA's bans so far, awaiting on the third one now.
Yes, there we go, it's the Yuumi. The Yuumi Sivir has obviously been such an oppressive force in the league and across a lot of leagues so far, since Yumi's been discovered to be quite a strong support. And Sivir, I was talking about this a little bit yet on a previous cast, Sivir can just do everything so well that she's such a safe pick. She can be really aggressive, her pushing is incredible, and you just want to get her off the board. And so she's gone, we don't have to talk about her anymore. Jarvan 4, quite interesting lock-in over on the side of Fuzzy Esports.
Yeah, a really strong priority pick, grabbed early for the jungle. Could be flexed into a top lane, but that is unlikely. Karma will be picked up as their first pick for actually CBA. This has seen a massive rise to prominence over recent weeks, as she received a couple of buffs, been played all over the map. A massive flex pick down in the bot lane, mid lane, and even top, and that will be paired up with the Sejuani as well for Rido. Good engage in the jungle there, and it gives them a nice front line to work with.
Yeah, the Sejuani, a very, very popular pick right now, very tanky, got a lot of good engage, and the Karma, of course, very flexible. It could go anywhere on the map, really, and we're going to see Zarya and the Rakan being hovered. That is going to be the Lovers bot lane, very, very popular bot lane, so much good synergy, and it's really powerful. But look at this, Vayne God, he's got his signature pick.
Yep, we've looked at the OGGDs for these teams, and Vayne God has 300 more games on Vayne than any other champion. Takes his namesake from the champion. We'll have to see if he's able to live up to that godly status that he puts himself at, but so often we see it banned away from him, it is going to be a treat to see it in his hands today, as we're going to our second round of bans. LeBlanc and Irelia taken off the table already.
LeBlanc, Irelia, two very strong picks. I'm really excited to see Vayne God and Vayne. I haven't seen him play as champion for such a long time in the SQ1 Champions League. It's always banned away from him. Last time we saw him last week, it was available. He chose to pick the Varus instead, which it was an okay pick. It wasn't maybe as successful as he'd wanted it to be. So now we're going to see he's been given his signature. He might have the Karma support him, he might have someone else. We're going to see how we can utilize this pick to his own advantage. Aatrox being taken away as well. Actually, CBA know exactly how powerful that pick can be.
Yeah, they definitely do, and with the Vayne being locked in, I do think that it's an indication that actually CBA want to put that Karma down towards the bot lane in that supportive role, because she's such a good enabler to her ADC that she's with, able to shield them, able to speed them up, and also provide a lot of safety in that lane that the Vayne normally lacks. She tends to get bullied around a bit, takes them more time to scale up, and Karma, well, scrap all what I was just saying, that is a Braum coming out. That is the Braum going to be paired up with the Vayne, so Karma moving around the map somewhere else instead then. Have to look forward to where that is. But yeah, Braum, very supportive, very good at keeping his ADC alive, provides a lot of safety to the Vayne, and a lot of engaged potential as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a flexible. Karma can catch everyone out and actually can go everywhere. We've seen a lot of Karma top, which might be where they decided to take this, or mid. We saw it yesterday a little bit. It can be a very, very powerful pick and very, very versatile. Braum, Vayne. Braum could keep Vayne very safe in those early levels where maybe she's a little bit vulnerable, and then could come forward and be a really good engage and a really good peeling champion. So a very, very nice bot lane they picked up for themselves against the Zarya Rakan. Vel'Koz is a champion that's been seeing a resurgence in play in the mid lane, at least. Do you know anything about this champion, Sarge?
He's very frustrating to work around with the way that his Q works, firing forwards and then splitting off to either side. You have to always think of the angles. He's good at poking down the enemies even when they're hiding behind their own minion wave, as the unusual pathing of that skill shot often catches people out. So might wanting to be hanging back in the lane a little bit more, doing a bit of poking, trying to force the Corki, it looks like, out of the lane before we go into the all-in engage. The laser is very, very powerful. And something that I was thinking for the side of Fuzzy Esports was that they didn't have a big frontline tank as we were waiting for our last pick. They've now got themselves the Cho'Gath. He will fill that role very, very nicely, scaling up all throughout the game, getting more and more health until he turns into an absolute monster to take down. But it is concerning when you look at the Vayne on the opposite side. I know we've talked about it already. I don't want to give over all of our time in the pregame to this, but the Cho'Gath into a Vayne, not something that is looking too great for Fuzzy Esports if this Vayne isn't put down in the early game hard.
Yeah, Vayne's going to be able to get onto that massive, quite immobile tank, and is going to be able to absolutely shred through him with all that pure damage. But the Cho'Gath himself might be in a bit of trouble, because if you look at his lane matchup in the top lane, he's going up against the Karma, a ranged AP character, who might be able to do quite a number on this big, dumb, fighting bruiser. He can do a bit of damage early game, but Karma could easily give him the runaround. Of course, we've got the Corki as the final lock-in against Vel'Koz, so that mid lane matchup might also be quite interesting.
Yeah, and it is going to be an interesting matchup to watch up there in the top lane. I do feel that if the Cho'Gath is able to weather those first few levels up to about level 6, level 7 kind of area, he will do okay against the Karma. It's whether we'll see Sejuani try and move up and pressure the Cho'Gath. Like you said, he is very immobile. The Karma has the root between her and the Sejuani. There'll be a lot of CC, a lot of opportunities to lock him in place for that kill. But I don't think the Karma has the same amount of damage, the same kill pressure past that level 6 kind of mark, where the Cho'Gath will have started picking up a bit of early magic resist there.
Yeah, he's going to be... It's a case of early game, you're going to want to stay back a little bit, but then when you hit that point where you've got your ultimate, you can say, okay, that's fine. If you step up to do a bit of poke me, I'm going to flash ult you and you're going to die. An interesting bit of trivia for you, Sarge, before we talk about these comps a little bit further. Actually, CBA are currently on a 2-1 record. Of course, we haven't seen Fuzzy Esports play. The only loss that actually CBA have got so far in this season of the SQ1 Champions League, we actually cast against Royal Reapers. So that's going to be very interesting to see if we get to see actually CBA dominate in the way that they did when they were on stream and when we weren't casting them, versus when we saw them against Royal Reapers, they looked a little bit questionable, especially in that top lane, whether this Karma is going to show that she's got the ability to compete at this level, or if the new team of Fuzzy Esports is going to come in and serve them up another defeat.
Yeah, and like you said on that point, it's going to be a matter of discipline, I feel here, because it's very easy for teams to get overconfident and play with a bit of hubris. Like you're saying, actually CBA are our previous split winners. They are our reigning champions, and they are on a good record so far at 2-1. But against a new team, nobody has really played against Fuzzy Esports yet. Nobody knows what they're capable of. We don't want to see overconfidence coming in and underestimating Fuzzy Esports causing an upset here. Now, that would be great for the viewers, but we want a nice competitive game of League of Legends here. So let's take a quick look at the team compositions. And for Fuzzy Esports, it's fairly standard from their side. They've got the Cho'Gath and the Jarvan as your big front lines. You've got your Vel'Koz and your Xayah as your massive damage dealers, and your Rakan to do all of that lovely engaging and slowing people down. Very team fight based, very big kind of death ball focused. It is going to be very difficult for actually CBA to deal with if they let them group up and fight as a 5v5 unit.
Yeah, they are going to be a massively strong team fight composition, but you have got some team fight on the other side, on the side of actually CBA. You've got Karma, who in late game goes from that kind of very strong damage dealer with those mantra Qs and the E to slow down, and becomes much more of a team fight orientated pick. You've got the massive team shield, and that can be very devastating. You've got Sejuani, loads of engage, a lot of damage. Of course, we were saying how the Vel'Koz can do a lot of damage and the Xayah can. Well, Vayne and Corki are going to be doing that same kind of sit back a little bit and poke off and do damage from the backline. Vayne needs to get a little bit more in than Xayah does, but can be moving through. Then you've got the Braum for the engage in that tank line, so both of these teams can do the team fighting thing very, very well, which is really exciting from a casting standpoint, because I love to see massive 5v5 brawls breaking out, and especially around objectives, I can see these two teams really going at each other.
Yeah, definitely. And you do have the option, although it might not be the standard thing to do, it might not be the safest option. Actually, CBA could look to do a 1-4 composition with that Vayne in the side lane by herself. When it gets to the late game, she's got a few items she will easily out-duel the Xayah in a 1v1 scenario, and there aren't really a lot of great options for Fuzzy Esports to kind of respond to her. The Cho'Gath, very immobile, he'll be kited around and just filled like a pin cushion by the Vayne, and if Jarvan moves down there to ult onto the Vayne, she'll immediately just pin him into his own Cataclysm. So if this Vayne moves off into a 1v1 scenario and tries to split and create pressure around the map, it could be a situation that actually CBA want to try and exploit, and that Fuzzy Esports don't really have a massive answer to here that I'm seeing.
Yeah, well, we are into this one, ladies and gentlemen. This is our first game today with SQ1 Champions League. It's going to be Fuzzy Esports on their debut over on the blue side, and we're going to see actually CBA reigning champions looking to upset them over on the red side. And I don't think these teams are, because it's a new team, you can't really say who the favourites are, but actually CBA, they're such a dominant force in this league, and they've got such a good lineup, and their draft is pretty strong as well. But I'm excited to see this. Both teams are on the same side of the map going into the early game, and we could see one of these early 5v5s breaking out.
The ward will spot actually CBA as they move into the jungle here. So Fuzzy Esports do have knowledge of this. You can see them moving down to place another bit of vision, seeing when they're going to appear. And actually CBA don't know that they've been spotted here yet.
They are going to go into some damage. There's a 3-man knock-up over from the Rakan. First Blood easily taken up onto that Xayah. Double kill from Xayah there as she picks up a second. It's going to be Corki falling down as well. Very, very quick response from the side of actually CBA, who saw the invade coming and might be able to pick up a third here as well. J4 picking up that one. Official Martens getting 3 kills over. I say it was actually CBA. It was actually Fuzzy Esports showing that they know what they're doing, picking up 3 quick kills.
Fuzzy Esports coming out with a enormous lead at level 1 here. 3 kills go over to them, double kill over to the Xayah with an assist as well. That is going to give her an insane amount of power down in the bot lane. You can see she's backed and bought 2 longswords and a control ward already. This Vayne is going to be at a massive disadvantage, and the only thing it actually cost them was the ignite from the Rakan, something that they will be more than happy to trade for these advantages here. Jarvan as well got an early game kill. He's already a massive powerhouse looking to make an impact around the map, and this kill is just going to increase his ability to do so even further.
Yeah, that was an amazing early game play. The vision was so important that they saw the invade coming in. They were like, okay, we're going to leave vision here and we're going to go stand off to the side. We're going to wait for them to come in and invade. We know we've got a really good level 1. You've got the Xayah, you've got the Rakan with the knockup, and we're just going to go for that and get the kills. And Fuzzy Esports, they're coming into this league against the reigning champions, and they're pulling off 3 quick kills before minions have spawned. They must be feeling really, really confident about this one.
Yeah, certainly turned up to play some League of Legends. They didn't turn up just to be a contender. They came here to win. And the good thing for them is every single member of their team got in on all 3 of those kills. Each member has kills and assists on their side, so all of them will have a gold advantage over here. And it's really put actually CBA on the back foot to start with here. Now, up in the top side of the map, you will be seeing this Karma poking and pressure at the Cho'Gath to start with. But once he gets a little bit of magic resist under his belt, like we're saying in draft, won't be too much of a massive problem. We're going to have to see where these junglers choose to make their impact felt, as I feel that is going to be our next bit of action we see on the Rift here today.
Yeah, a little bit of behind the curtain esports production from your resident Viperune. When you're watching League of Legends games in the early game, you want to see where the action is. You quite often look at the minimap and you look at where the junglers are going, because of course jungle ganks often lead to the most explosive action in the early game, assuming that the teams are around the same level. Because most of the time, if bot lanes are at the same level, they won't necessarily do all that much. When a jungler gets in the mix, instantly you have an advantage, and instantly there's going to be a play there. We can see both the junglers right now moving up towards that top side, so bot lane should be quite stable at the moment, assuming that neither of these teams want to go in for a massive engage. But we are seeing the Sejuani hanging around mid. J4 at his blue buff should be able to respond quite quickly. As we see the Sejuani looking for the stun. The flash has been used safely though by Z to get out of that one. But as we say, very nice gank, burning that, and now Vel'Koz, he's going to be pretty susceptible to another gank.
Yeah, he did manage to hold on to the barrier there, which will come in handy if a repeat gank is attempted. The Sejuani didn't quite manage to get the Frost off quickly enough to stun him in place so the core he could follow up, but a good chunk of damage, and the Flash Burn is a successful gank. Definitely open to a return gank if Paulson and Rydo want to team up and attempt that now. So, going to have to put a bit of attention into protecting Z, trying to get some defensive vision round, and you can see control wards and just the Scuttle Crab lighting up that top side of the map, while a nice bit of vision is leading a path down to the bot side river for Fuzzy Esports. So playing fairly safe, they haven't lost anything just yet. Nothing to be too concerned about right now.
Yeah, they've got that early game lead from those 3 kills. They say, we're not going to throw this away. We're not going to push our luck. We're just going to... We know that if things stay the same, we will have this gold lead. We'll have the 1.5k gold lead going into the mid game. We're just going to keep ourselves safe. And as you can see, in the top side, Karma is really giving Bumblebee a hard time. That's to be expected in this matchup until 6. As we said in Champ Select, Paulson is doing quite a lot to Z as well without that flash. He's going to have to play quite safely. We do see Rydo down on that bot side, looking maybe for an engage, but is recalling. We'll have to see whether he decides to stick around and how long he decides to stick around with that recall being cancelled.
Yeah, Rydo hasn't been spotted here looking for the lane gank, but the Zyrakan not wanting to push this too far, hanging very carefully back. Got the feeling that something was up there and they do bait it out. Rydo backs away and will have wasted a little bit of time there with no gain. So very nice safe play from the side of Fuzzy Esports, not wanting to get too aggressive like you were saying, perfectly happy to sit and freeze these waves and just maintain that gold lead that they got for themselves with that early fight there.
Yeah, we're in a very good position in SQ1 right now. We've got 3 new teams coming in this week in the 3rd week after some unfortunate dropouts, and all the teams we've seen so far coming in on their first games have looked pretty good. Fuzzy Esports now 3 kills up early game over actually CBA, the reigning champions. We saw Bittersweet Gaming also fall down to one of the new teams, Orpheus Gaming, yesterday. As we see the engage in bot side, we do see Java coming in as well. The Ignite is already running onto Vanguard. He's going to be having to flash to get away from that knockup. The General looking to get a bit more damage down on that Ricard. The flash forward from Cal will force the heal as well. He does manage to get away, but that was very good. We're moving to the top side with a root, but I don't imagine this will come too much up there. Resources burned in the bot side. Very well played from Fuzzy Esports.
Yeah, lots of summoners used there by both sides. The flash from Messiah is down, the ignite for the Rakan, but the Vayne has no summoners at all. Flash and heal both used there, flash from Realm as well. So that will be a nice play for Fuzzy Esports as we look for a gank into the mid lane. Paulson managing to dash away from that, not having too many concerns, but starting to ramp up the pressure a little bit. This Jarvan wanting to have an impact, looking to make some successful plays around the map. Hasn't resulted in any kills just yet, but the amount of summoners he's drawing out has really put actually CBA's bot lane at a massive disadvantage, with Ryder posturing around the top side of this map for a potential gank, but don't really want to be trying to dive onto a level 6 Cho'Gath under the tower like that. It's not going to be a good time for you.
No, you don't want to be diving straight into his chores, because even if you are going to get the kill and he's not going to be able to cut you too much, he's got a knock up, he's got a silence, he's got a massive true damage burst at the end of his rotation. So you're trading 1-for-1 most likely, as we do see a bit of pressure coming in onto him. You're going to want to keep him a little bit down. Taking a tower shot though might be problematic, but yeah, the bot lane could be where we see a lot of action. Both those bot lanes have burnt summoners. They've got the heal and the flash over on the side of Fuzzy Esports. You've only got the ignite over to Gaizo, and this could be a massive important lane. Neither jungler has gone back since these resources were burnt, but I can feel that tension is brewing down there as both sides really want to get involved and get some damage and maybe get some more kills on the board for themselves.
Yeah, the Sejuani is in the bottom half of her jungle now, looking to path down towards the bottom side of the map most likely. Jarvan has just backed, and we can see him running straight down this bot lane as well. Both junglers could be colliding in a big 3 versus 3 fight in a second, and if you look towards mid lane, Z looks like he could be pathing down. They have a control ward in the river here, but if he keeps moving, he will be spotted on that river brush, just looking to get a bit of vision into the enemy's jungle. Won't manage to find Rydo. The Scryer's Bloom just missing him there as he was on the Gromp, and the Jarvan has moved up into the bush here. If he goes to the next one, he will be spotted on the ward, but if he maintains his position, he will be unknown for a lane gang.
Going to catch out. Geno's going to be forced to knock himself away. But it's going to be Vanguard falling down first. Guys, they might be in trouble here. Double kill once again over side of Kale the Turtle, as they're going to clear out that vision. Very well played. We do see Paulson with that package, maybe looking to move down, but I don't think he's going to. That looked pretty bad for Fuzzy Esports to begin with, but they turn it around with 2 quick kills.
Very swift engage and reactions there. Extremely clean from Fuzzy Esports. Going in with the Jarvan. They'd already moved him down looking for a lane gank, but when the Sejuani turned up, it just grouped up the bot lane on a silver platter. Rakan able to go in, get the double knock-up, followed up into the Cataclysm. Vaingod and the Braum still had no summoners from the earlier gank, and it was another quick double kill over to the Xayah, who is going to be at a massive advantage in tower plates, CS, and kills over this Vayne now, which is definitely a difficult position for actually CBA to be in, not getting the scaling carry into a position where she's wanting to be.
Yeah, she's already fallen quite far behind in farm and in kills. Very, very well played from Cal the Turtle. And the coolness of Geno in that fight, going in, finding himself caught out by the Sejuani and saying, okay, rather than just trying to escape, rather than flashing really quickly, just get out, I'm going to be using my W, I'm going to be catching two people I've seen off to the side for knockups. I know my J4 and my Xayah are there to support me, and we're going to turn this to our advantage. We're going to see another engage, only knockup on Braum this time, but we do see J4 there wants to get another knockup onto Braum as Vaingod uses that ultimate to get the move speed, but it's not going to be enough. Cal the Turtle picking up that one, and now Braum's shield is up the wrong way. He will be falling. Double kill to Cal the Turtle. 6-0-1 in 10 minutes, as Z might fall as well. He's going to be able to get out on a sliver of health, but this Xayah is out of control in the bot lane.
We were talking in draft how bot lane would be a focus and how excited we were to see Vaingod on his signature champion, but oh, how our expectations have turned on their heads. It is Fuzzy Esports with the commanding lead on the bottom side of the map, the 6-0-1 Xayah in 10 minutes, a couple of beautifully executed ganks by the Jarvan, some incredibly swift play by Geno, managing to find some clutch knockups and engages, and this Xayah is benefiting from all of it. 6 kills, only 1 assist to her name so far. She's going to have a massive paycheck to cash in and a huge item advantage when she does go back to base to shop.
Yeah, and Xayah, of course, one of these carries who really does a lot of work in the late game, and she's going to be getting there so quickly with this advantage. You can see she's up by like 25 farm. She's got 6 kills. I cannot stress that enough. 6 kills. Every kill in this bot side and in the early invade was gifted over to her, which is very, very well played, giving your marksman such a commanding lead against Vaingod, who we've lauded as one of the best marksmen in this league. He's being made to look very ordinary by Cal the Turtle right now. And Geno, he's been so crucial in all of these team fights on this Rakan. He is looking very, very clean.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's actually Geno that's impressed me the most. Now, we've seen the Jarvan come down. He has been the catalyst for all of these. Without his presence, some of these ganks, some of these players would not have happened. But it's been Geno's swift thinking, like you were talking about that gank earlier. When he was caught up by the Sejuani, he didn't choose to try and escape and run away. He instead looked for the engage and got the double knock-up, which secured the Cataclysm and gave another double kill over. It was then that he went roaming with the quickening to get behind the Vayne to be able to knock her up and catch her out again. So really looking forward to seeing what he can do once he's unlocked from these lanes. But Delvin is down here again. Will be spotted out on the ward, so no opportunity for a cheeky gank this time, but looking to just shove down this tower as quickly as possible, with Sejuani pathing down as well here. Corki on his way from mid lane. Paulson will arrive before Z is able to.
Knock up onto J4, and he's going to be stunned up. 3-4 stacks. Might be able to get the stun from Sejuani's E. Not going to be able to. No permafrost there. As we do see the quickening used onto Ryder. He's taking a lot of damage, but Corki is the first to arrive from mid lane. Vaingod will pick up his first kill onto Geno as Cal Turtle uses his ultimate and flash to get away. We do see Vel'Koz now turning up as Bombi's going to take a bit of poke in that top side. There could still be a fight brewing down here, but it looks like we're getting a bit of a break from action. Vaingod picks up his first kill, and the first kill for actually CBA.
It is a nice kill for Vaingod. A little bit of confidence back into his roster there. Getting the kill, will be looking to get that on his way to scaling up even more. But it wasn't on for crucial member. The Xayah is still alive, which means actually CBA can't pressure this tower any further. They're not able to pick up any plates, and they are not able to even out that discrepancy that has built up in lane so far. If Xayah had backed already in that fight and managed to cash in her check, that fight would have gone completely differently, but only now is she able to get back and buy that Essence Reaver. Very nice timing of the gank from Ryder, and very nice rotation from Poulsen, able to get down before Z could get involved in the fight there.
Yeah, of course, Corki, with the package especially, is always going to be much quicker on those rotations than Z. And Poulsen's had a reasonably good time in this mid lane against Z. Of course, the 3 assists from the First Bloods will be on the side of the Vel'Koz, but you're keeping up in farm. You've got an assist yourself for Poulsen. You now picked up blue buff, and that's going very well. And we must say that actually CBA's solo lanes have actually been doing pretty well. They haven't died since those first bloods, really. They haven't been falling behind. There's a little bit of farm advantages going down there, as first tower is picked up in the bot lane for Fuzzy Esports.
Yeah, Fuzzy Esports will get the first tower, but like you're saying, nice little CS advantages in both solo lanes for actually CBA. Nothing too massive in the mid lane, only about 9 or 10, but in the top lane, Karma has picked up a decent lead. About 2.5 waves for herself here. Again, what we kind of expected, the ranged top laner into the melee matchup of the Cho'Gath. He has been forced under his tower for pretty much this entire match so far, but still, very good for her, and she will be backing now and picking up that Rod of Ages. The Abyssal Mask is instead what she's combining that into. I thought she was going for the more damage-based Karma, but instead looking to play tank and be the real enabler for her team there. So she will still be very potent, very relevant in this mid-game section, speeding up and shielding all of her carries. And Raido is still getting tankier and tankier. Has the Cinderhulk completed on his Stalker's Blade now, so looking to stack up and build a good front line for his team to work around as we're seeing bot lanes rotated to the top side of the map.
General Martins looking to get some assistance on that top side as we see CalTurtle doing some damage to that top tower. Of course, the plates fell off about a minute ago, so there's no more plates to get, but now the towers are quite easy to take, and you're going to want to crack those open to open up the jungle for yourself and your team. But yeah, as we say, Karma doing a lot. She wants to be a little bit tankier because she knows that the damage in the late game is going to be coming from the Corki. It's going to be coming from the Vayne. You don't need to be this big damage dealer. You need to be this big peel and enabler for those characters. As we do see Corki doing that damage going on onto Z here. A lot of damage down there as Karma's going to be forced away from Bobby a little bit. Doesn't want to be in melee range of that one. But the enabling is going to be so important and crucial for this Karma. And as someone who is maybe the most ahead on her team, as she does get silenced and is going to be forced away from Bumblebee quite a lot, the snare might keep her alive as we move to that mid lane. She's going to need to keep herself alive as long as possible, as Martins on his own might be in trouble. Uses the Cataclysm to try and get onto Pulsar. And Pulsar's going to pick up that quick kill for CBA's second of the game.
Yeah, definitely an encouraging sign for actually CBA. Paulson is ahead in this mid lane. He's consistently forcing Z away, and this time when it was Vajalvan coming down to defend this tower, managed to pick up the kill as well. First real advantage on the side of the map is going over to actually CBA in this mid lane for themselves, and Corki is going to be much quicker at taking these objectives than the Vel'Koz will be. As soon as he gets onto this tower, left alone for a couple of seconds, he is doing...
He is burning down. Vanguard going to be trying to get the kill there. Baduo's down himself. Massive turnaround there. Sorry for the interruption, but CalTurtle is godlike and demands attention.
No, that is completely fine. I did not see that the fight was going on in top lane. Might be caught out here, though. He is very low. Brown...
Get some damage there. Rakan is going to be jumping around, getting the knockup, but it's going to be shut out onto Zaya, and now he's jumped into a fight that he cannot win. It's going to be Ryder picking up the double kill there. Onto Pulsar and Corki picking up that one. Very well played. Actually, CBA, they are on their way back into this game.
And that is a massive shutdown. 1,000 gold and going over to Pulsar. There were 2 damage threats on the side of actually CBA, Vayne and the Corki. And Corki just picked up a double kill with 1,000 gold bounty on top of it. He has that Trinity Force completed, could go back and finish off the Maw of Malmortius, as he's already sat on the Hex Drinker, or could look to itemize into some crit that we know this Corki absolutely loves, as actually CBA moved towards this Rift Herald. Won't be able to use it to get any more plays, as they have fallen off already, but still a good objective to force some pressure and would easily be able to knock down this mid lane turret if they secured it on there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's going to be any contest on this Rift Herald, so that's going to be easily picked up by actually CBA. And as we said at the end of that fight, they are on their way back in. You do see massive advantage over on CalTurtle still on this bot side, but the money that you gain from killing him onto Pulsar of all things is going to be really scary, as this Corki is going to look to get bigger and bigger. And as we say, it's only really been that bot side that's been dominating so far. You've got Raido, he's 004 in a Sejuani. Galhina in the top lane on this Karma. He's got a little bit of a gold lead and is going to be looking to get that utility, a little bit of farm lead I should say, and is going to use that utility. And then Pulsar, he's playing really well to force Z out and create loads of pressure mid. So actually CBA, they may still look quite behind, but the gold lead, it's only 1,000 at this stage. It's not all that much.
Yeah, and with Baron coming up in a couple of minutes, it's not something that either team really wants to be fighting around at this stage. The gold lead isn't large enough for Fuzzy Esports to feel confident in brute forcing it, while at the same time, actually CBA aren't in a position to attempt for it themselves. So, not expecting too much action around this top side of the river, but we'll have to see how the teams develop and where they choose to focus their attention instead. Dragon is down at the minute. It was was just picked up by Fuzzy Esports there. And with towers around the map beginning to fall, these teams are looking to group up and pressure different areas, with the Karma and the Cho'Gath still duking it out in this bot lane. Not really to do any damage to this Cho'Gath at this point. He has got some magic resist in his kit now, and slowing her down might be able to finish her off.
He's doing some damage, but I think the Karma should be mobile enough. But in this, it's got to that point where it's one of those 1v1s where neither player dies unless they really make a mistake, but neither player is able to really get kills, because Karma, as you say, doesn't do all that much damage to Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath isn't mobile enough to be able to get onto Karma and do the massive amount of burst that will be required. So it's just, they're juking it out a little bit. You do see Vanguard coming down there, maybe looking to get onto highest 1B. And as we said in Champ Select, he's the one that you want to be getting onto this Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath in full retreat. We do see Karma there. Knock up onto Vayne. Might be in trouble herself. She's tumbling away, looking to get that true damage off. You can see the block used as well. But Bombi managing to step away. You need to be careful of this Cho'Gath because you can burst very, very quickly. But they do manage to force him back. We do see a collapse coming in though. Cal, Official Martins, and Jenno, who's going to look for the engage. Quickening will land onto Vanguard, who might get out very, very quickly. You do see Ignite. Cataclysm is used, as well as the knockups are all over the place. But Ryder has joined the fight. First kill shot down onto Poulsen as Bombi is ripping through that line. Vanguard picks up a kill of its own though. It's only going to be a 1-for-1 trade in that bot lane, but everyone getting involved.
Only a 1-for-1 trade, but the target acquisition for the side of Fuzzy Esports was key there. They tried to get onto Vayne, realised that they hadn't quite nabbed her, so moved on to Poulsen instead. That Corky going down meant that actually CBA weren't able to try and continue that fight, had to move away. They got the Jarvan for themselves, which was very nice, but not able to have the damage to back up their fight there. Forced away again while the Xayah was still alive for the side of Fuzzy Esports. The kill did go over to the Vayne, so we'll be looking to scale up even further.
Yeah, the Vayne picking up that kill is very, very crucial now. 2-3-0 on that pick. But the Xayah picked up the kill for herself. That's her 8th of the game. And she's still been involved in all the kills. She's only had 1 assist in the first fight, but then she's got all the kills since then. But yeah, as we see from these kind of compositions at this stage, with Poulsen dead, Vanguard isn't able to do too much on his own, especially when he's got members of Fuzzy Esports breathing down his neck in every fight. We're going to see the summoning from actually CBA of that Rift Herald mid. They're going to look to siege down and get some more money. What's the defense going to look like for Fuzzy Esports?
Yeah, 4 members of Fuzzy Esports here, and a lot of wave clear from the Vel'Koz. All we have to do is try and knock it up or interrupt it, but will not be able to. Rift Herald will charge forwards, unlikely to get the second charge off here, as Jarvan takes it down with the eye in the back. But first tower to fall in... the first outer tower for Fuzzy Esports will fall in this mid lane. Actually, CBA opening up the map a little bit more for themselves, giving them a lot more access to the top side of Fuzzy Esports jungle, which is going to be crucial as the Baron is now live and teams are setting up vision here. You can see Braum and Sejuani moving together, trying to clear out some of this vision, set up a little bit of their own, but we are in less than a minute. The third dragon will be spawning, the second Ocean Drake of the game, and that could be something the teams look to contest around as well, as we're seeing these kind of long, drawn-out skirmishes so far. That second Ocean Drake would help Fuzzy Esports weather that storm, top up their health pools a little bit more, and it would even up the score if actually CBA got it for themselves as well. So have to see whether that is a priority for these teams here.
Vanguard just got exploded. So much damage falling onto her. She gets away on a sliver of health. Massive damage there from the Xayah, followed up by the Vel'Koz. If they got an engage on her, she would have probably fallen and has to go back. And that might be the opening that Fuzzy Esports need to go onto this Baron. It looks like they have started to clear out the vision and now looking to take it down. 22.5 minutes in, Vanguard is back. The teleport coming in from Cho'Gath so that every member is there, but we do have contest from actually Esports. They've got a Sejuani teleport coming in from Karma as well. Baron's already at 4k though. It might not be enough. It looks like Fuzzy Esports haven't quite decided whether they want this. They're going in. It's going to be taken away. It's going to be eaten up by Cho'Gath. And now Ryder's in the middle of the team. But we do have a big team fight as we're going to see Sejuani in the thick of it. Very tanky, but we'll go down. Caltella picking up that one. But we do see Martens falling to Poulsen on the backside. Vayne's here now and is looking for damage. Cho'Gath forced to flash away, but Vayne is following. We do see a lot of damage falling onto her though, as she might go down. We're going to see Cal picking up that one onto Vayne, and now Poulsen's all the damage that they've got left. Caltella will pick up a double onto the Brom as Poulsen is knocked up and killed. Massive kill there from Highest Bombi, and now Gahina is the only member left. 4 members of Fuzzy Esports, all reasonably low, but they all get out with Baron.
Very good decision making by Fuzzy Esports. They decide not to try and chase for Karma down at the end, not wanting to take all of that damage from the kiting. They nab themselves a Baron and they get the kills as well. They knew that they had a strong team. They knew that Vaingod had just back, so wouldn't be able to join that fight. And between the Jarvan Smite and the Cho'Gath Ultimate, a fairly safe, secure there, turning the fight in their favour as well, kiting back nicely and denying actually CBA getting anything meaningful from that fight. One kill to their name, but they lost 4 members in return. So a huge swing in gold over to the side of Fuzzy Esports as they now move on to this Ocean Drake, and they'll look to push out these lanes with this Baron empowered buff that they now possess.
Yeah, they're going to have so much push. They do, of course, lose it onto Martins, their Jarvan, who kind of jumped in order to save his team, did a lot of damage in that backline before falling on the retreat. But now it's all to do for actually CBA. They have to clear out these Baron-inspired minions, as well as the decent amount of poke that's going to be coming out from the likes of Vel'Koz, and the threat of engage over on the side of Cho'Gath and J4 is always going to have to be in their minds. They've got 4 men pushed up with Karma coming in as well. As this mid lane is being looked to siege down, where are we going to see the fight break out in order to defend? Because unless you start a fight, it's just going to be Fuzzy Esports pushing directly into your base.
Yeah, and there is so much pressure coming down from this 5-man death squad of Fuzzy Esports that all 5 members of actually CBA are having to stand here as well. And something that we didn't quite get to highlight in Champion Select, but it did cross my mind, with the Corki having that split damage profile between AD and AP, with the majority of it falling on AP, there isn't really a massive amount that actually CBA can do to clear these Baron-empowered minions. Only the Vayne is able to deal a meaningful amount of damage to them. And with how far she's been put behind, they are really going to struggle clearing out any long sieges with these Barons. 2 towers have fallen already so far. The Cho'Gath doesn't have a TP to get up to the top lane, but that is going to be the team's attention next, you have to think, as we're seeing recalls, resets, and actually CBA get a couple of seconds to try and breathe and try and push out some of these waves before the onslaught continues here.
Yeah, they haven't got any inhibitors down, so clearing out these waves without Baron should be relatively straightforward. But as you say, the last tower that stands between Fuzzy Esports and those inhibitors is the top outer. And you've got to imagine they are starting to magnetize and move up towards that top side, all of them being drawn up there. Corki Paulson is the one clearing that one out, and he's going to have to back away very, very sharpish once the minion wave is gone. We do see Cal Turtle and Z putting a bit of pressure on mid, making sure that they're forcing people to go and deal with that rather than dealing with the wave up top, which is obviously going to be their next target unless they can find something better to do with their time. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to do it, but maybe they're waiting for a little bit in order to try and bait something. They're not going to be able to do that, but they're still going to be able to go up and get a lot of damage, if not take this top tower.
Yeah, a 5-man, again, looking towards this top tower. The Baron buff has just worn off, but they have more than enough damage to take it down. Jarvan has to be careful there on the backside. Just a sliver of health remaining on this tower. One more auto from Messiah would likely do it, but not wanting to take that risk, not wanting to get caught out and overstep. They've been very careful so far, very reserved the entire game through. It has impressed me a lot, and we're just seeing a gradual, steady siege, and the tower will now fall as Jarvan moves in.
Jarvan did move in to try and keep the members of actually CBA at bay. He took a lot of damage for his troubles, but managed to get away 1 tick ahead of all the CC that would have definitely killed him. He's going to be forced back though, but as we say, inhibitor towers across the board are now open and vulnerable for actually CBA, and it's going to be Fuzzy Esports looking to push in and try and break one of those open.
Yeah, and if we take a quick look at the gold leads here, down in this bot lane, we highlighted it so much in the draft phase. Vizaya is currently at 1400 gold compared to 8.8 on this Vayne. So much of this gold difference is entirely down on this bot side of the map. 11 kills to 1, 250 CS to 207. She is absolutely huge, which, although a terrifying prospect for actually CBA, it does give them quite a nice target as well. If they are able to get a nice engage from these fights and take out that Saya immediately, say when she has the flash down or when the Rakan isn't nearby to bail her out, they have a massive advantage all of a sudden, because this huge carry with all of the damage at that point has been taken out of the fight. So actually CBA are not out of the game yet. They still have opportunities to claw this back and find a way back in, but it all depends on whether they're able to isolate and take out that Xayah before she deletes their own health bars.
Yeah, you've got to imagine that Cal the Turtle is going to have to be very, very careful. He's the one who's doing a lot of the damage for Fuzzy Esports, and if he's caught out then it could be curtains in that team fight. And actually, CBA could find a massive opening in this game. It looks like there's some posturing towards a team fight in the jungle right now. Geno being a bit aggressive to try and get rid of some of those wards. It is going to be forced away, but does manage to clear it out. With the assistance of Cho'Gath and J4, his beefy mates are going to stand up in front of him to make sure that they can get rid of that one, as both teams looking to scrap around this Baron. It will be up very shortly, 10 seconds on that timer, and it looks like Fuzzy Esports are going to look to take this one down on spawn.
Yeah, 5 members of actually CBA are hanging around here. Corki has just backed away, so not looking to contest in this 4v5. Hanging around the back of the pit, they do have vision into it for now. Karma moving around the side. Looks like Fuzzy Esports are disengaging here. Yeah,
you can see J4's already half health. You've got Counter on the side on her own, might be in trouble. A lot of it damage is being used onto her. Pulse has jumped in. The ultimate from Ryder will be enough. She'll be going down. It's going to be Vangel picking up that one. And the fight has turned. We see Geno going down as well. Vangel picking up 2, as now he's going to be on that trigger. That's going to be the third kill. Triple kill. Cataclysm won't be enough to stop anything else. That might be a lot of damage coming in. Corki picking up that one to ruin a pentakill if it had to come through. Shutdown from Paulson. All 5 members of actually CBA survive. Fuzzy Esports die, and Baron will be theirs.
Actually, CBA coming off the back of a 6k gold lead to secure themselves a clean ace without losing a member and the Baron, and it all came down to the target acquisition. We were just talking about how all of Fuzzy Esports damage was on this Xayah, how much of a threat she was, how crucial she was to their team composition, and they let her go alone into the jungle. Immediately, all members of actually CBA collapsed onto her, nuked her down, and from there was no way Fuzzy Esports could get back into that fight. Vayne coming online, Paulson is now coming online on this Corki as well, and we are now, for the first time in the entire game, at a gold advantage over to the side of actually CBA, who will secure themselves for the first dragon of the game and look to smash through some of these neutral objectives around the map.
Actually, CBA, they're the champions for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. That was an insane team fight. Cow Turtle, completely out of position, was punished really hard. Very, very clear head from Rido to hold onto his ultimate until the ultimate from Xayah had run out, so you could get the point blank. You've got a lot of damage on Vangel as well, who's going to be great at taking down every target they needed to, getting 3 kills in that fight. Paulson picking up the other 2 on the Corki. And once Xayah was dead, and you saw Rakan fall very soon after as he tried to jump to her aid, there was nothing that Fuzzy Esports could have done, and actually CBA were able to just roll over them. Well, let's see what they can do with this new gold lead they've found themselves and the Baron buff on all 5 members, because if they can catch another kill with this Baron buff, they could just look to end the game. Rido stepped before the ultimate will land again onto Xayah, who's been caught out, having to use that ultimate to get away. But now look at the backline, we can see Cataclysm coming out and a lot of damage coming in onto actually CBA. The shield is now up, but Rido might be the first victim of this fight. He is going to be able to get out, as we see Paulson on the killing spree, managed to pick up the Cho'Gath in that backline. Only 1 kill taken so far, but you've got to be so careful, because both teams, 1 team fight win could be all it takes.
After that fight, I am on the edge of my seat. It looked so perfect for actually CBA to start with. They got the SQ1 ultimate down onto Xayah, the ideal target, but they weren't able to finish her off before it expired. Xayah able to reposition, get to the back of that fight, and shred through the health bars of actually CBA, preventing them from pushing forwards, forcing them away. But they did lose their Cho'Gath as well. So it is a 4v5 for the next 20 seconds as actually CBA regroup around this mid lane and look to siege. Fuzzy Esports moving forwards, not wanting to give up an inch here on this map. They do have the push in top lane, which will be collapsing in their favour the longer this goes on, but bot lane will be pushing against them. So it is all going to come down to how we can force this mid lane fight, but Sejuani and Vayne disengaging, going to try and get some of this free gold from this outer tier 1 turret in the bot lane, still standing for Fuzzy Esports after 32 minutes, probably not too much longer on its lifespan though.
No, you can see members of Fuzzy Esports moving down towards that bot side. They do want to try and mirror the movements of actually CBA to try and grab a fight if they can, or even just to defend their objectives. But that's how it's going to be very squishy, very easy to take down at this 32-minute mark. Martins looking for the engage, gets the Cataclysm onto 3 members, and actually CBA will be able to take down the Jarvan forward, the Vayne going down very low, but still being able to get out of that one. Now actually CBA might be looking to push forward. You can see Corki still on full health, and they're going to be able to get the tower very easily. As we said, it looked like a very good invade over on Fuzzy Esports, but they lose 2 in that trade.
Yeah, and it is a lot of safety that has gone down there. The Rakan now doesn't have that ultimate available. He is dead on the water. He is dead in the water, and 3 members left to defend here. Cho'Gath doesn't really have access to this fight. His flash is down, so he can't try to flash to feast the Corki or the Vayne, and he will just be poked and chipped away at. The Karma throwing so much CC forward, finally moving in for the engage.
There wasn't a real engage going on there. It looked like it, but they do want to get the tower down instead. The Baron buff has now worn off, so pushing will be a little bit harder for the CBA lineup. They're going to try and get away now with the recalls. They've got the kill lead for the first time this game as well. And actually CBA, we said that they weren't out of this game at any point, and they're really, really coming back into it now.
Yeah, 4k gold advantage. This Vayne is only increasing her stats. For Corki has been an absolute monster. Paulson is our master player in the game, so no surprise to see him putting the team on his back at 8-3 now. But big shout out to this Karma and Sejuani across the map. We haven't talked about them a massive amount, but both of them sat at only 1 death each. Sejuani involved in 13 of the 14 kills for their team. Karma involved in 8 as well. You've seen all the work she's been doing, throwing out those inner flames, trying to pressure these waves down, create some poke and force members away. And Sejuani just doing so much work, forcing all of the members of Fuzzy Esports back, getting these clutch ultimates onto the Xayah to pin her in place, and really, really strong play from actually CBA all around now. To come back from that early deficit in the bot lane takes a lot of mental fortitude, not throwing and not inting when you are so far behind in the early game.
Yeah, and something we can say is very impressive about actually CBA is the kill participation across the board is the same. Paulson, 100% kill participation. Braum and Sejuani only not involved in 1 kill apiece. And then you got Vayngod involved in 9 of the 14 and Karma down involved in 8. That's insanely high. This team has been working together so well, rotating around and getting all these kills as a unit rather than picking up solo kills. You can say the same thing about over on the side of Fuzzy Esports. You got Xayah, who's got 100% kill participation. Rakan, 100% kill participant. No one is below 6 over on that side, which just shows how much these two teams work around playing as a unit rather than the individual more 1v1 style or 2v2 style. Everyone wants to be getting involved in all the kills.
Yeah, and playing as a unit will be key here, as we can see the team skirting around this Elder Drake. Actually, CBA don't want to let Fuzzy Esports have this because it will give them a slight edge in the fights, as Jarvan, Cho'Gath, Rakan are moving forwards.
So low, Gahina has got the first kill onto Jeno. The dragon is so low. It hasn't been taken down. Bumby might be in trouble here, but he does get a kill onto Ryder. No smite available for actually CBA, but they've already lost 3 members over the side of Fuzzy Esports. Zihi is the only member left, as Vayngod is looking for the chase, looking for the kill, and looking for the opportunity to end the game. Actually, CBA with the ace there, only losing Rido, and I think this could be enough for them to take this game.
They have 28 seconds left on the Jarvan. They have a minion wave here with them. It will be enough to end the game. The Corki and the Vayne are alive, chunking through this tower, getting the inhibitor as well. First member up is going to be the Ricard and the Jarvan, but that will not be enough damage to stop them. First Nexus tower is in their sights, chunking it down here. Corki and Vayne not the fastest tower takers, but more than fast enough in this situation. 4 members here. The second Nexus tower will fall. The Nexus is in their sights, and that will be a GG to actually CBA, coming back from a huge goal disadvantage, swinging team fights in their favour, and winning out here over our newcomers of Fuzzy Esports.
Absolutely insane game coming in from actually CBA. Of course, we saw Fuzzy Esports take that massive early game lead. They had such an incredible early to mid game, but actually CBA, they kept their cool, they made the right decisions and won team fights when it mattered. And that means they're going to be taking this game. They go to 3-1, and Fuzzy Esports, a really incredible first game in the SQ1 Champions League, but they do fall to a defeat. I'm really excited to see what they can do when they're not against the reigning champions.
Yeah, definitely. We said at the start of this game that we wanted to see how these new teams coming in could stack up, whether we're going to be contenders, and I think it is very fair to say that Fuzzy Esports is a team to watch here. A bit of more coordination and a bit better coherent team fighting, not letting the Xayah get picked out, not letting the key members get taken out before the real fight starts, and that game could have swung in a completely different direction. It was an absolute blast to cast, and we'll be seeing what these teams can do a bit later on in the next games.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That has been the SQ1 Champions League Week 3 Day 2. It's Day 2, it's not Day 1. I'm losing my mind. Between Fuzzy Esports and actually CBA with the hugest comeback this league has seen so far, managing to pick up the win against the newcomers. I've been Viper and I've been with the Sarge. Thank you very, very much for watching, and we'll see you again very soon for some more League of Legends.